Fam, they ain't gonna tell you that everything be really fake. Christianity, your favorite pastors, all that stuff be fake, fam. You see, your favorite pastors is really Freemasons. They showed you in the movie, though, they cloned Tyrone when they went inside the church, or whatever you want to call it, the synagogue, and how they found out that they was working for the government and all this and that. Yeah, you gotta understand that everything be really fake. And when you wake up and question everything, and you get out and you get away from the church or the synagogue, you start questioning about Jesus Christ, is it his real name? Yeah, all that. It's gonna be fellow people that's gonna try to pull you back into that, try to pull you back into that third dimensional stuff, because they still stuck in it. They don't want your mind to elevate it, to question everything. You gotta understand it. And you see, our ancestors, they couldn't read the Bible or write. You got to understand that back in those biblical times, back in the days. So what they had the Spirit. The Spirit came and gave them all the knowledge. The Spirit came and helped them understand and to get through all this and that. You got to understand that, fam. You see, in the sky, they be fake. The sky is a computer screen. Basically, they showed you when Kong at the end of the movie, he grabbed a tree or whatever you want to call it, a log, and he threw it at the sky. What? It broke, and it was a computer screen. You got to understand that. And they've been telling y'all to look in the skies or this and that. Ain't nothing coming out of that sky. You got to understand that everything in the water. If you read Revelations, ain't nothing that come out the sky but Yahushua HaMashiach. Everything is literally in the water that's happening. They telling y'all to look at that. They trying to distract y'all with all this and that. You see, when they pushing out one thing, then you know it's something bigger coming behind the scenes. If the world, or you see on big news or big storylines, and they pushing out one thing, it's something behind the scenes that you don't know what's going on. You got to understand that. And you see, if you was to really to sit down with yourself and to question everything, question your beliefs, what do you believe in, what you think is real, what you think is fake, what you gonna sit down and say to yourself, what you gonna think. You got to understand it, not based off what your mama told you or your grandma told you, because some of them people still stuck in the matrix. Some of them people is still working against you. You got to understand it. And it's up to you to break those soul ties, those generational curses and all this. And then you see, when you get inside the synagogue and the church and you get baptized, you don't know that you're getting baptized in rituals, you're getting baptized in demonic stuff, entities and all this and that. You don't understand that, bro, because you a young age. But when you get older, you will really understand. You see, and if this wasn't about race, if everything wasn't about race, then why they try to paint a picture and try to rewrite our history to make us think that the Messiah is white, that he had blonde long hair, he had blue eyes, he was a Middle Eastern? Why they want us to believe all that? Why they try to rewrite it? Why they didn't just put no image? Because it told us not to worship no image. So why they try to rewrite it and make it about race, like he was white and all this and that? We all know what he really looks like. It said he got fiery eyes, hair white as wool, bottom of his feet is like burnt fine brass. Didn't say all that. Yeah, so basically, and I ain't gonna criticize enough, sit up here and like I'm perfect and all this and that, fam. I haven't read my Bible in 3 weeks to a month, fam, but I'm tapping to the Spirit. I still get up and pray. I still talk to God. I still talk to myself, because the kingdom of God, the kingdom is heaven. I don't go outside of myself to find it. It's inside of me. It told you that in the Bible, that the kingdom of heaven is within you. Everything that you need to know, the question, is inside of you. So that's why people be telling you, like, believe in yourself, to bet it all on yourself, or to, like, you got to be comfortable in your own skin if you really want to win, because you got to believe in yourself. Because if you don't believe in yourself, you basically don't believe what's inside of you. You got to understand that. So, and my mama told me one day, she was like, because I was supposed to be, I wanted to go to the NFL and all this and that, and I was like, dang, and all this and that, we was chopping it up. And then she was like, you stopped believing in yourself, you stopped believing what was inside of you. And I was like, dang. So yeah, fam, if you was to actually sit down with yourself and to question everything and all this and that, what would you really believe in? You probably, if you was in Africa, if you was somewhere else, you probably wouldn't even believe the same stuff that Americans over here believe in. You got to understand that. So it's different things. And I'm not telling you that everybody is right and that everybody got a wrong belief, but it does say in the word that my people perish for a lack of knowledge. So you got to understand that, fam. So at the end of the day, question everything, fam. Don't be so focused on this world, because the world can distract you and it can have your mind all in this and that. But you got to understand that at the end of the day, look at this stuff. They put stuff in movies. Movies is not going to tell a lot to you. They got to tell you what they doing before they actually do it. They got to come, basically, if they worship the devil, they got to come out and say they worship the devil sometime, because what's done in the dark is going to come to light. Everything is going to put on blast. Everything going to come out. You got to understand that, fam. So I love y'all. Yahushua loves y'all even more. Stay up and blessed. We true to this. We not new to this. A1, fam.